All right, so we did get a lot of very good questions this time around. Two of them are about missing and mercenaries, specifically the Mercenary Guild. So I'm going to go ahead and answer those real fast. Kehako asked about why, or asked for more of an explanation on the Mercenary Guild. Pretty much what it's going to be, like I said, it's just an IC organization. If a player wants a mission done that they don't want the village council to actually take a part in, then they would requisition the mission from the the mercenary organization. Look, I'm stuttering a bit. I do apologize, Ashley. You have my sincerest apologies there. But basically, they are pretty much just what it says. It's an organization for the mercenaries. It's their guild. You hire them to do these things. The other thing that got asked was from Massa, asking if missing or mercenaries would get their own special abilities. At the moment, they actually will not. That's not in the works at all. We are going to be retooling everything in dev, however. From right now, we're working on the bloodlines and the core abilities and the Kinjutsu. Then we're going to move on to the abilities themselves. I can let you know one thing I've been pushing for is to try to get all of those branch abilities updated so that missing have something to take out of them.
So it's pretty much a toss salad then for missing in.
At the moment, yeah.
I see. Okay. Isaki Kushinen asks this question: does Missing Council have any storylines planned for Missing In, or does that not really happen?
That really doesn't happen all that much. The biggest storyline idea we've had so far is actually the Mercenary Guild and Moon Country. One of the things about being a missing is you do miss out on a lot of those things. We don't put our thumb down on people and make sure they're doing this, that, or the other all the time. We let you make your own story, and part of the responsibility of making your own story is making your own storyline.
Well, that's understandable, but like, yeah, is there any events? Like, I know every village has their own events. Like, for instance, San has their event going on right now.
Well, the big thing is, where would we gather people to do the event? We have people in every village out there. So we can't just hold an event and gather everyone to it.
That's very true. That's very true. Well, I guess the only thing I think of is maybe, I guess for the Missing Council, it'd be more of like a site-wide event because that's the only way all these ninjas from different villages or from different villages can come together for one event. Not sure how that actually will come about, but that's the only thing I can think of. Anyways, this is from Kotaza. She's asking, do we have a treaty going on that allows Cloud to take a Missing as their own if they want? I guess it's toward me. So, as Shin as the character, he won't really mind doing that, but he wouldn't prevent people from rejoining the village. So we've done that before in the past. Like for instance, Shinbatsu was missing from Miss. But the problem is that Shin is very respectable of people's law. So if the law prevents him from doing that, he'll probably go and ask the missing to go and reconcile the other village. So. Which leads to another comment or statement I would like to make is that during the Kai Summit, hopefully we can create a system whereby we can figure out how we could deal with missing in. But I know earlier in our other talks, Jake, we were talking about like if, for instance, I call it if missing in will enter the village and we want to figure out how do we control like the influx of people coming in and out of the country from different villages, like would it be disadvantageous for us to create laws against them. So for instance, like if we have a missing in coming to the village and they want to make a mission, then they're allowed to have missions inside our country, but they have to give back 50% of their revenue back to the village as I guess as a penalty for being in our village, because they're in our space or our territory and they're taking our clients and things like that. But I remember you talking before saying that might not be a feasible solution.
Absolutely not. No one would do those missions.
Yeah, of course. I mean, in character, I'm saying like if that was proposed.
I mean, in character, at that point, you would have the groundwork for people doing the illegal missions, which is what the Mercenary Guild would basically handle. Because even in character, it makes no sense to go on a mission if you're only getting half pay for it.
Yes, of course. It's worse than being hunted, though. I mean, if you're in a hostile territory and you don't want to be hunted, you have protection of the village to like, if you to give us 50% of your, it's kind of weird. It's kind of like a gangster, like
I
for
mean, I
protection.
get the idea. It's you do this, you scratch your back, or you scratch our back, we'll scratch yours. I get that idea about it,
Yeah.
but very few missing nin are going to go for that. I can tell you that much.
Well, yeah, that's very reasonable. So.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, hopefully I answer your question, Kotaza. Kohako access, well, it's the same question actually. Actually, Kiyakutsu, he's asking this question. Like, is this pretty much a suggestion for the IC ranks from Mr. Nin? He says, "What do you guys feel of IC ranks about your IC rank is?" Well, let me paraphrase it. He's saying that Mission Nin should get points, or if infamous points, based on missions, and depending on how many points they get, they can increase their IC rank. So it might not be. I guess infamous might be a bad word to describe, but depending on what they do outside their village, since they're missing in now, it could increase their rank. So in a way, it's a ranking system out of character, not out of character, but out of the village, since they're not in the village anymore. So
I'm sorry to interrupt you there. Admin, like I said, proposed an infamy system to us. The problem is, if we use a system to go by how infamous you are or how not infamous you are, nothing is forcing people to follow that. Nothing is going to force Sand, Stone, and Cloud to all agree about how dangerous or not dangerous this one person is.
Well, it shouldn't be dependent on the village, though. I mean, IC rank could be just... I mean, that IC rank could be amongst, I guess, the community outside the village. You know what I'm saying? Like, an IC, people, how much dangerous they are might not be necessarily be based on the village who issued, the bounty, but based on their actual surroundings, what people say about them outside the village, which can correlate to a separate third-party system that isn't dependent
Well, the minute
on the
you
village.
give it a system, though, it's no longer in character. The in-character ranks for villages all make sense. This person is a medical ninja. This person's part of the Ambu branch. You don't get, well, this person's slightly famous for blowing up a town that we never heard of.
I suppose. I mean, if you don't acknowledge it, I guess it doesn't really make any sense.
Yeah.
So.
I did see a lot of people, for some reason, were wanting me to explain what's currently going on with my character in Cloud. We'll go ahead and deal with that one real fast.
Sure.
At this moment, my character, Hoshikata, he is straight up, just the entire time I've played him, he has been a selfish, greedy, horrible person. And he is currently actually going through a little bit of a redemption arc that I'm putting him through because someone broke him mentally, asked a question that made him realize he is not actually what he wanted to be. He is what his parents turned him into. So right now he's actually going to go and ideally he thinks he's hunting down and trying to kill Anishi. What's going to happen is something entirely different that I'm not going to spoil. But I hope to actually at that point have him ask to try to join Cloud. I'm thinking he's going to try to join the Ambu branch as well. Mainly because in character at this moment, Cushion, even if Cushion would take him as a Mednin, yeah, that ain't going to happen.
This is very, very weird situation because if you're gonna propose being a village nin from Cloud, I'm not even sure because right now Masa is currently inside the village and she's previously was a Mizukage at a time. So how that's gonna work, I'm not even sure.
Masa knows absolutely nothing about most of the stuff that Hoshikata's done. Thankfully, the only person who knows really anything about he's done that might be a threat has retired that character. But yeah, I think that Hoshikata, if this works out, it'll be a very good proving point for in-character missing, doing something with themselves, basically, being a benefit instead of just a threat to a village.
Yeah, I know Shin would not mind doing it. He used to be very worried for some time. I mean, he's very trusting, but sometimes Shin uses logic way too much and it interferes with his ability to trust people willingly, so...
Well, I never said to trust Hoshikata.
Yeah.
No one has ever regretted not trusting Hoshikata.
That's very true. Oh man, it's only been 40 minutes and we almost burned all our questions. Last time was like we were here for an hour and then it's only 40 minutes. Let's see.
I know Kahako asked, or Kahako, whatever her name is, Ashley asked about the missing using branch abilities. Technically, they can use them, and just as technically, it applies to people from other missing. Let me look something up real fast, though. The problem comes in, especially with the Ambu and the main branch ones. If you look at the main branch abilities, two of them deal with classes and lessons. Let me pull one up real fast here. Actually, all of them deal with something in a way. You have instructor, of course, which is the one where if you taught this person when they were a student and they're in a fight with you, you gain from their presence. They gain +1 to their secondaries. On the flip side, you have... Yeah, that was it, actually. But on that one, that would actually work against a missing, because if you're a missing, you have not taught anyone in missing any classes. We don't have a class system. Now, the people you would have taught classes to are the people who are now hunting you. So if that still applies, they're actually getting stronger because they're hunting you down. On the same work, you have squadron, which is where you form a team with people in your village. Missing don't really group together. I tried, and that fell apart within a month or two.
Well, I guess it depends on different villages. I mean, the characters, not just necessarily villages.
Well, yeah, but the big thing is the only main branch ability that has any use to a missing is Journeyman, -5% chakra cost, and our missions don't take up an RP slot. And that's just those three. If you look through the Ambu ones, hang on. Ambu, Sentinel, you gain 45 minutes to catch someone leaving your village, and 5% DR and +1 item slot. That would be useful to a missing, but the 45 minutes has absolutely no use to us. Half of that ability, basically, we can't use. Hunter, if you enter a topic with a missing from your village, you can't go missing for missing. I'm sorry. If you join a battle with a missing, you can receive a stealth check. Okay, once again, you can't go missing for missing. That entire ability has no use to a missing min. What I was talking about earlier wasn't making a special set of abilities for missing and mercenaries. I was talking about taking these abilities and making them something that if you go missing, they can still have some use to you. Instead of just, oh, well, you're missing, you lose out on all this stuff now.
Wouldn't it be easier just to have a section of missing in abilities? Because if you do it that way, you're generalizing the abilities way too much. I mean, right now, like, juices and abilities are very general. Like, there's not very specialization, which is kind of disappointing. I mean, I would love to have like some type of system where you have very specific ninjutsu techniques, things like that, not just generalized abilities and stuff like that.
I mean, we could have special abilities just for missing and mercenaries, but at that point, we would be encouraging some people to go missing or become mercenaries just to get those abilities.
Well, I would rather like nowadays, like people just go missing anyways, regardless of the abilities. I mean, people just go missing for I don't know, very very ridiculous reasons. But I'm not sure adding that will encourage people to do it anyways. I mean,
for some people, that would be all the encouragement they need is to go missing, get the ability, then come back and keep that ability. It makes no sense, but that's how some people think. I would rather that we have the abilities we currently have, just have a slight change made to them so that missing don't lose out on most of the effects of them.
Okay, that's fair enough. Any comments or remarks, Joe or CJ?
Well, I'd say overall that the actual changes that would be required to the abilities are pretty straightforward. Because, you could hear Jake read through some of those. And while I still think the main branch abilities probably just need an overall tweaking to make some of them overall just, more useful to everybody.
Yeah, they do.
The Ambu ones, for instance, if you were an Ambu and you went missing, the fact that it's so strict in how the phrasing is makes it sound useless when all you have to do is just adjust it. So, if you're an Ambu in a village, it makes you better at hunting missing ninja. Okay, well, then just, if you go missing as an Ambu with that ability, then just give it the inverse. Now, as a missing, any people from that village you encounter, the bonuses apply. Unfortunately, I still think the catch time, while it might have a use, is still not as useful, because clearly that's very good for an Anbu trying to catch a missing or running from the gates, as opposed to a missing.
Yeah, and there's no
reverse. So what you would do is, I mean, again, they require tweaks, but a lot of things can just apply on the opposite spectrum of things. Again, so Anbu catching a missing in, fine. Then if that Anbu goes missing, then you just turn it to specifically towards the village they went missing from. And it applies, the bonuses that you would add, or that you would rather have. Again, not perfect, because overall they just need some tweaking, and could provide overall better flavor. But again, Dev is slowly working towards abilities, so I think when they finally get to that hump, they'll get an opportunity to really rework all of them and just make them more interesting overall.
All right, before we go any further, I'm going to go ahead and answer one that has been getting spammed in the chat. Bacon.
Yeah, bacon here too.
I love sausage patties. I don't know why. It's just me sausage patties.
No, bacon.
Bacon. I mean, depends on how you cook it. Sometimes, like if you go to
always crispy, never not crispy.
Yeah.
I like my bacon actually slightly crisp on the edge, but not completely burnt. I like it so I can.
Okay, now
you're a little bit chewy, but
now you're just going over the edge, because now you're like, well, yeah, because clearly no one likes burned food, with the exception of like that weird with that exception of the weird 1%, like people who like burnt popcorn. They're like, that blows my mind.
Oh god, people I don't like normal popcorn.
Crazy.
Doesn't burnt food give you cancer anyways? Like seriously. Like...
By the way, I hope Kodamon's happy with this.
Doesn't give you cancer. Everything gives you cancer these days. That's why I just say, screw it, I'm doing everything I want to do. I'm going to get cancer anyways.
I'm indifferent towards bacon or sausage. I don't really care.
You are not a man.
Oh, man.
It's all right.
That's all right.
All right, I'm going to ask this one because I saw it asked from, I think, Nick, actually. Shin. For some reason, he is really curious about my character and your character. Would you allow Hoshikata to join Cloud if he comes back from this mission successfully?
No.
No one asked you.
It's very questionable. I mean, just because you did this, I mean, he would still consider it. He would speak to his obviously he would speak to his counsel. He's not a man who just makes decisions on his own. He always advises his own, his sitting and things like that. But it's a highly unlikely. He's a very forgiving person, so he will say yes. I mean, it's going to be very hard to explain this to the Ishikawa clan, because basically their cousin is dead or missing. You don't know where they are, and then you just have some guy who's accused of killing him join the village. So it's going to be a very complicated situation.
I can actually explain what happened to Zaku if Shin promises not to try to have my character killed.
Well, I'm not metagaming, so
I know.
It's perfectly fine.
But the alternative is you could always introduce me to the NPCs of the Ishikawa clan, and they will not be a problem one post later.
Yeah, because you just kill them, so like...
No. I won't kill anybody. I swear, no one will die.
Okay.
They will simply cease to exist on this plane of existence.
Don't you... Well, I don't even know if Zaku's going to bring them up, because, like, I have no idea what he's doing with his characters. He has so many NPCs, I have no idea if he has a plan for them or what. So
he's writing a book with them.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
He has that many. Tushin is not going to welcome me with arms wide open unless those arms are holding swords made of pure rage and fire.
Now, I'm a little bit worried that if you join the village, you might decide to go missing because he just can't tolerate your presence. So that'd be very bad. I mean,
I doubt he'd go missing. He'd try to have me killed probably, but I don't see Carl going missing. He would hire the mercenary guild to kill my character, which would be ironic in every manner of the word.
That would be a very interesting plot, actually. It's a good idea.
That'd be pretty hilarious.
So,
go ahead.
Yeah, so in regards to the missing guild, I think that's very... Because, Shin is not the type of character who likes doing assassinations. I mean, he'll do assassination if it's needed, let's say. Like Nishi, for instance. Like, killing Nishi is the most necessary thing to do. But he probably used the missing guild as a necessary way to do things without village nins actually participating in them, like killing like a lot of different things and stuff like that. So that's a very interesting. I would like to see how that goes. The missing guild.
All right. A question got asked. Hang on. from Joku. He said, is there a problem with this idea of walking weapon that people are not trying to capture or reclaim their weapons? Honestly, with the way the battle system works on NC, I can understand why people aren't just going out of their way to try to call a B mod every time someone nukes and they want to chase them down. I'm not sure why the villages aren't actually sending out hunters to just RP with these people, except that they might be worried said people are good fighters usually, and they don't want to lose their players.
That's a very, very interesting point. I mean, the BMOD system is so broken that the ability to do bounty hunting and things like that, it's not feasible because one thing, it's time consuming. The second thing is that if the player knows like the best build or whatever, they can easily wipe the floor of you. So it's like there's too much negatives to actually do any hunting.
Well, I mean, even if let's say that let's look at some of the people who are known for being good fighters. Me, Kushin, Akechi Shin. If you send 5 people after us, there is no way they're going to beat 5 people if those people are all capped.
Really?
I don't care how good of a fighter you are. 5 people, you're done.
Well, if they have tank, I mean, if they have like 55 HP mod or whatever.
No, not even then. It's just 5 people. Even if you have the best build in the world, luck will be on their side because they get 5 attacks to your 1. So at that point, it's just going to be a game of attrition on wearing you down. So if they send out large groups to hunt these people down, but then on the flip side, you got 6 people in one fight, that is pretty much a BMod's second worst nightmare next to inter-village war. So you would have the issue of that mod would take forever to mod. So, I mean, if you can find someone who goes missing and they're willing to RP it out or do an RP battle or something, that would be an awesome thing to do. But as far as
9 out of 10, that never works though. 9 out of 10 people just don't want to do that.
Exactly.
I remember having to mod a fight for CJ. What was it? With him and Shu against like 3 other Leaf people. It was the worst thing I ever had to mod ever.
That was
totally lost all motivation to do that, and I think like they ended up stopping the fight.
No, I think it got switched off, and me and Shu still escaped because we managed to get them all into the ground. Yeah,
Ken was awesome back then.
Yeah, I mean, especially I was cadency, so I could just AOE him again. So super powerful, super powerful single target again, just AOE it, and it was just like. And this was also around the time, this was just before teleportation was removed. So that was still a thing as well. So you had the instant get out of jail free card, so it was retarded. You could get somebody, go into stealth, and then TP out, and you were perfectly fine. It was ludicrous.
Well, first off, let me tell the audience that we're going to have some, in next near episodes in the future, we're going to talk a lot about the BMOD system, which is, I know a lot of people are interested in that, so.
Yeah. There is so much to say on the BMod system that either that one's going to go on a whole lot longer than normal, or we might have to split that one.
Yeah, we might just dedicate like a whole month to it.
Yeah. All right. Any
questions? Because.
Yeah.
I mean, I know
last
Nick
questions?
asked one, but we're going to ignore Nick.
No one has any other questions?
No more questions. That sucks.
Last questions? Anybody?
Boo. Let's see. I mean, we could talk about like I'd like to talk about the avatars. I know kind of like
yeah.
Oh.
Shin did make a post in the information suggestion forum saying that he wanted avatars and signatures to be changed back to the old rules where it has to in some way represent your character.
Yeah.
Admin actually has been discussing that one, and one thing that I'm seeing more and more of right now is when people go way over that line. Like, I can understand if, say, your avatar is an animal and your character is based on that animal in some way, or they really love that animal, or, hey, look at the cute kitten licking itself, my character thinks she's that cute, da-da-da-da-da. When your avatar is a dancing teddy bear in the middle of a street...
Whoa.
Look at you,
Joe.
Joe.
We're pointing fingers at you, Joe.
Shane told me to use it, so I just used it, all right? Hey, you go to Shane with that one, not me.
All the fingers at you.
That was him.
When your avatar is a guy getting a paper cut down the middle of his hand and showing all that, yeah, There is no call for that. This is not.
Okay, those are
4chan.
like two entirely different things, though. A
No, no,
dancing
no.
bear
They have
and a paper
absolutely
cut doing
nothing
down
to
your hand.
do
Those are like
with the game.
two. One's
They
like
have
extremely.
nothing to do with the game.
All right, but like.
When your signature is swaggered, swaggered's good, so you're golden.
I mean.
But
can't
I'm
disagree
of
with
the
that.
opinion. I saw someone put up. I saw an opinion on it that I'm actually for. I think your avatar should be, at the very least, a representation of your character, at least what they look like, and just let your signature be anything that doesn't break the rules.
My guy's
That
inner
makes
voice is a breakdancing dude in a bear outfit. What can I say?
Because I feel it's very important because you
If
think
you're
about
role playing a breakdancing guy in a bear outfit, I am going to call BMOD on you the first time we RP.
Whoa! Whoa, let's just calm down.
Shots fired.
That is not a threat. That's not. I will invite the entire village of Cloud, and we're all probably going to join in on that fight to get rid of the dancing bear guy.
this metagaming, man. I don't even know if Hyojin even wears like a dancing bear costume. Like, does he even have one?
I wear teddy bear slippers. You can check my current threat.
Oh God,
It's part of my character.
this is going in directions I don't think are
All
appropriate
right,
for PG-13 viewers.
Yamato Kai just asked an actual question
Okay.
for messing. We have not gotten Grass yet. Moon, however, is going to be rolled out this weekend, which is when we're also going to roll out the Mercenary Guild if everything for it has been finalized by then. But yeah, the Moon forms will be coming out this weekend.
I don't know why you guys don't have like a world form. I know Plot Team used to propose an idea where we had
the fact that we currently have Mist as an NPC country now, and Moon's coming out as one, we'll probably just give them their own little form category.
Okay. Well, going back to the Avatar thing, I want to say here, like when I joined the site, I was very impressed with the way presentation of the site because basically everybody had an avatar that kind of reflect their character and everything. And
Yeah.
if you're a new guy and you come into the site, whatever, you see these random like avatars that don't really fit the theme. It kind of
It makes us look less like a role-playing form and more like one of those old early 2000 BB, bulletin boards where you just set something weird as your avatar.
I'm pretty sure our current theme makes us look like an old BBC bulletin board form anyways.
Sub Ice is beautiful. Who are you talking to?
Ha.
I mean, a lot of competitors have really nice like they use like HTML, CSS design. It looks very clean and simple. But I don't know. I know Shane doesn't have the time to actually change some of the sites and stuff like that. I really love to have the site change and things like that.
The advertisement team is looking into new themes for the forum. I can let you know that. But the big problem is a lot of our mods are actually hard-coded with Sub-Ice. So we would have to see if changing the theme actually creates a sort of just a jolting effect when you go from some other theme back to Sub-Ice suddenly, or see if we can somehow change that hard coding.
I mean, it's basically like CSS, right? I use.
I'm not sure how the shop mod.
It's not that simple. Coded. Yeah, it's not that simple. No.
Okay.
It's not simple at all, though. I can tell you that much. Pretty much the shop mod we have is based off of a shop mod that was never finished, and then someone, when they found out we were going to BB3, and at first the discussion was instead of having a shop mod, keep track of yen in a post, and when they buy something, someone said no, and they finished the shop mod, and they did a great job finishing it up. It's got some quirks, but in the end, they all fix themselves out like you would think they should. But it's not just something you can walk right in there and put a fresh paint of coat on it.
Okay, it's too. I guess whoever programmed it didn't like make it flexible. I guess. So.
Yeah.
So
we would need someone who knows how to actually handle the coding side of that in order to get a new theme on NC. And advertisement is working on it, but it's pretty slow going. Someone asked something about me. If I'm joining Cloud, what am I doing in regards to Moon? That is actually a good question. I have no clue. This whole thing about Hoshikata joining Cloud is rather sudden. I didn't plan on it. I say this to people all the time. They think I'm just being weird when I say it. I have no say in what my character does. My character is an actual personality in my head that I can just sort of put on that personality when I'm writing a post. I know that really does sound